3, aggressions against indigenous cultures and national values. Culture is the manifestation of identity and the key to the survival of nations and the foundation for their interaction with others. In an organized movement, indigenous cultures that are messengers of monotheism, love, and fraternity are being subjected to broad and destructive aggressions. National customs and values are humiliated, and the self-esteem and character of nations are ridiculed and defamed. The purpose is to promote blind emulations, consumerism, skepticism toward God and human values, and the plundering of the people's wealth by big powers. 4, poverty, illiteracy, healthcare issues, and the gap between the poor and the rich. While a major part of the natural environment in Asia, Africa, and Latin America is being plundered by the political and economic domination of certain powers, the situation of poverty and deprivation is very alarming. Let me draw your attention to some data issued by the United Nations. Every day, close to 800 million people go to bed hungry, and about 980 million suffer from absolute poverty, with less than $1 a day in purchasing power. People of 31 countries, equivalent to 9% of the world's population, have an average life expectancy of 46 years, which is 32 years less than the average of developed countries. The gap between the rich and the poor in some parts of the world has increased by 40 times. In many countries, the majority of the people are deprived of access to education and schooling. In developing countries, the maternal mortality rate during pregnancy is 450 per 100,000. This ratio is 7 in the richer nations, and the ratio of mortality of new births is 59 for developing countries and 6 for the richer nations. 1/3 of deaths in the world, or 50,000 persons daily, result from poverty. I believe this data clearly demonstrates the tragic situation dominating economic interactions in the world. 5, ignoring noble values and the promotion of deception and lies. Some powers sacrifice all human values, including honesty, purity, and trust, for the advancement of their goals. They propagate skepticism and deception in the relations between states and peoples. They lie openly, level baseless charges against others, act contrary to legal norms, and damage the climate of trust and friendship. They openly abandon morality and noble values in their relations with others and substitute selfishness, supremacy, enmity, and imposition for justice, respect for others, love, affection, and honesty. They sacrifice all the good things and the sublime in life for their own greed. 6, violations of rules of international law and disrespect of commitments. Some who were themselves the drafters of international law openly and easily violate it and apply discriminatory policies and double standards to others. They drafted disarmament regulations, but every day test and stockpile new generations of lethal weapons. They framed the Charter of the United Nations, but show disrespect to the right of self-determination and independence of sovereign nations. They conveniently abrogate their formal treaties and do not yield to laws concerning protection of the environment. Most of the violations of international obligations are committed by a few global powers.